All right, so we're back and we're interviewing our POW conference presenters. I've got Lisa Dewey with me. Lisa is a fellow practice owner, also consultant, also runs a great conference. So excited to have her here. She brings a lot of experience and a really broad sample set of what's going on with practices to the table. So, Lisa, real quick before we get into the topic, tell us how you ended up as a practice owner and what your practice is like and where it's like and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's funny. I have a practice in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Well, Hampton Roads, Virginia, which is the southern part of Virginia, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Norfolk, all the places. Um, it's so funny. I set out to have a small practice. I that's what I just wanted to do, and I just kept leaning in, and now I have a three office, 35 employee
Wow.
practice
Yeah.
called Turning Point
Yeah.
in Virginia Beach area. And it's been, just like everybody would say, it says it is. It's a lot of work, a lot of love, a lot of, oh my gosh, what do I do now?
Mhm.
Um, and just it's a good place. I'm so happy that the universe said, nope, get a little bit bigger.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think probably the majority of successful practice owners I know are accidental CEOs.
Yeah.
They didn't start out to do this. They had a wait list and would love to lower their expenses a little bit, so they brought on a clinician or two. I always kind of I don't know if you have the same experience when you see somebody on Facebook saying, "Hey, I want to start a group practice." And you're like, oh, do you really like? I think most of us that are doing this didn't set out to do it, and that means also that a lot of this leadership stuff we've kind of picked up along the way, right? We've
Oh, for sure.
hodgepodged leadership together. So I love your topic because it is both appropriately relevant and probably in some ways the term has become overused, misused, misunderstood. So your topic is beyond performative leadership, leading with authenticity in mental health practice. Tell me what
Yes.
they're going to hear in this hour with you.
Um, I think the underlying message is they want you to be you. The
Oh,
underlying. And I think I think that's the takeaway. But I'll step back for a second and say that, you know, as leaders, I think we are not taught, or maybe we're taught, or maybe we're not taught that we have to act a certain way. And I'm certainly not saying don't be professional, but
mm,
I'm saying you can bring you to your own practice.
hmm,
You should be able to say, this is the best job I've ever had.
hmm. Yeah. And not best
Because
because it's easiest or pays well, but
no,
because of,
no, that's because you're building what you want to build.
hmm,
And you're creating the culture that you want to create. So I'm going to talk a lot about culture. I'm
hmm,
going to talk a lot about maybe a little bit of can I act this way? What if I want to do this? Can I laugh? Can I joke with
hmm,
my employees? That kind
hmm.
of thing. Just very practical, uh, rubber meets the road, day to day, because I had to learn all that stuff.
Well, and I think that's where a lot of practice owners go awry is they or astray. They get into this leadership mode and they start digesting leadership stuff. And there's a lot of stuff out there that encourages them to be standoffish or removed or
Right.
exemplary or whatever. Something I've said to my team for a long time, and I think I probably stole this from somebody, but managers require, but leaders inspire. And probably the most inspiring leader is the one that's a little bit of a hot mess with a plan. Like, in other words,
That would be me.
here's me and
Yeah.
all my flawedness. I've got a little bit of terror going on, a little bit of excitement, but here's
Hmm.
what we're gonna do. And
Yeah.
I think people can connect with that.
And I
So
think it pulls that trust and
yeah.
that humanness that we seek from our leaders. If you think about the authentic leaders that we know
Mm,
just out there,
mm,
how I say, oh, they're human, just like me. They make
mhm.
mistakes. They have anxiety. What?
Well, I think that's
They're
why
not perfect.
we've loved tabloids forever, right? Like I love seeing
Oh yeah.
celebrities in their sweats with a beer gut like me, and it's just reassuring on some level, right?
Yeah, I guess I've never thought about it that way, but the next time I see a tabloid, I'm going to think about it that way. Like, oh yeah, their hair's a mess.
So unpack this performative word for me. We're a very forward-leaning practice. I'm probably strive to be as open-minded as I can be as a straight white dude. And I think we all want to be in the right place with diverse populations and the people we serve. And yet there's probably a fine line there where it teeters into performative. So just give me an example of performative leadership gone wrong. What are we trying to
Mm.
prevent here?
So I'm trying to prevent something that I think I was doing in the beginning was just trying to pretend that not pretend, but be in a role, um,
Mm,
be a part of, like, act maybe how I was shown
mm,
in other jobs to be a little, I don't want to say standoffish, but un unobtainable. You
mm,
couldn't talk, you couldn't go, and not really, kind of like the best example is someone who says that the door's open, but the door's not really open.
yeah.
Like what is that? I've heard that my entire career. My door's open, my door's open. What does that mean?
Yeah.
You know, and I can say my door is genuinely open, but sometimes that's my door's open, but can I really approach?
Mm,
And if I did approach, what would happen? Do I feel safe?
mm,
So it's the performative is maybe the anti-safeness. And like you talked
mm,
about, how, we just want to be a safe space for everyone. So it's maybe that leader that is inviting questions versus that performative leader who might not be
mm.
might be inviting questions, but then the genuineness and the authenticity doesn't take hold.
It strikes me that if we, and again, I think we probably should say this, but if we have to say that we're a safe space because it's not obvious, there may be a gap
Right,
there, right?
right,
I make a joke when I go, I do a lot of speaking on conflict resolution. And I talk about the boss with the open door policy, and I use a made up example where I walk into the boss's office and say, "Hey, I got to talk to you. I'm not leaving, but I'm not happy here. Some things got to change." And the boss goes all company values on me. I think this is the performative piece. Oh,
right.
open door policy, every voice counts. We love feedback. What's on your mind, Kevin? And I'm like, well, first of all, it's Ken, right? Like, probably at that moment, you've lost me, right? Like, it's not a
Right,
safe
right. You
space
don't
for
even
me.
know my name.
Yeah, or my family or what my journey is. So, well, I appreciate that because I think there's a lot of us that are wanting to do the right thing, wanting to be the right people because it's important to us to feel right when we look in the mirror. And yet there's so many voices, social media and the 30-second snippets and the
Mhm.
badass boss babe and the badass boss dude movement and all this. I think a lot of these things have
Yeah.
kind of distracted people from I want to follow somebody that gets me,
Hmm.
as opposed to somebody who has their shit together and I could probably never aspire to be. So
Right.
I love it. So excited to have you at the conference. In addition to POW conference, where you're going to be speaking, you do a lot of other stuff. So tell us
Yeah.
really quickly about your conference and consulting, and how do people find you if they want more Lisa?
Oh, yeah. So clinicianconnection.net is our conference that we have in Virginia Beach, Virginia. It's 3 years old now. It's a clinical conference.
Hmm.
So it's for people, and it's what I bill it as is to help for inside the therapy room to do the therapy things, and then outside the therapy room to do the therapist things and have
Hmm.
a well life. So that is April 30th and May 1st this year in Virginia Beach,
Yay.
and it's clinicianconnection.net. I know it's going to be here before we know it. And then I do consulting. I like to work with leaders.
Hmm.
And so I have a website, lisaduez.com, LISADUEZ. As I work with leaders, but I also work with people that are scaling their practice.
Hmm.
I have a book coming out called yeah, it's
I was
coming.
going
It's
to ask if you
coming.
had a book recommendation,
Yeah,
so I
it's
think this will
coming.
count.
Mine? Can I say
Yeah.
mine?
Yes. Yes.
Um, so it should be out. It's called, well, I don't have the title exactly yet, so I'm still play. That is the hardest thing to do is to figure out
Hmm.
a title for a book.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that should come out, I would say hopefully end of February, but probably more realistically in March. So there's a lot to writing a book.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yeah, so
Awesome.
that's about my leadership journey and figuring it out. And not that I have it figured out because I do not,
Yeah,
but just a kind of an approach maybe that maybe some people might, lean into, and maybe some people can take part of it and
I
use
love it.
part of it. So it's exciting.
I love it. I love it. Well,
Yeah.
we're super excited to have you at PAL Conference. I got a lot of respect for you and what you do, and even your words hold me accountable and make me think. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you and appreciate you sharing some of that with the rest of us. So we
Yeah.
will
Thank
see
you
you in
for
a
the
couple weeks.
opportunity.
Yeah, at PAL Conference.